Hello, everybody. This is Attorney Anthony Reeves, and let me go ahead and give you another Social Security legal beat tip. For the next couple of time periods when I come up here, I like to try and answer questions when people pose them to me about various disability conditions as well as applying for disability benefits. I got a good question from a person named Mr. XPU, and I want to thank you for giving me a message and was asking about migraines and disability benefits. Okay, migraines are tricky because typically, let's kind of stop for a second and talk about what happens. Most of us understand the concept of having a headache, but migraines tend to be a lot more severe. When you find somebody who has a migraine, their person will tell you that even littlest noise bothers them. I'm talking about not bothers them making their head hurt. It usually makes them nauseous, makes their head pound. The light is usually a problem. You'll see people like with migraines saying they have to put a cold compress on their head or have to be in the room for dark for a period of time. Frequency of the headaches are usually much more intense, meaning it's one to have a headache and you can still function, but with people who have real bad migraines, they are usually unable to function at all. When applying for disability benefits and you're alleging that you have migraines, the key is because sometimes people will say to themselves, well, I get disability based on migraines. Typically, the threshold that they look under for migraines is basically what we call a pain threshold, meaning every district within the United States, and what I mean by district, I mean circuit, because the country is broken down into various circuits from 1 to 11 and then the DC circuit. We're in the 11th circuit here in Georgia, Florida, Alabama. Every circuit, just 11th circuit, has what's called a pain standard. And really what they're doing is they want to know is do you have a medical condition that can reasonably cause the pain you're experiencing? Does the medical evidence support that condition? And does the medical evidence support your allegations of the severity of that condition? In other words, do you have it? Do you have medical records to prove it? And does the medical records support that it's bad as you say it is? Let me be the first to tell you, for those persons who are, and I'm just kind of going as a brief overview because there is a listing of medical listing standards for a type of conditions like this as well. But I want to talk to you more from a pain threshold standard. If you're applying for disability benefits and you're applying based on migraines, a couple things you need to be aware of. And I don't mean to be rude, but let me just call it straight. If you're taking Tylenol for your migraines, and that's it. If you're going to the doctor and you're telling your doctor you got migraines and all you're taking is over-the-counter medication for your migraines, you're probably not going to get a whole lot of excitement from Social Security. When we're talking migraines, they're going to be wanting to see a couple of things. What is your treating doctor providing you? Some people's migraines are so severe they have to have shots. Some people's migraines are so severe that they're getting treated by a neurologist or or neurosurgeon, something of that nature. So when Social Security is trying to determine the level of severity, they're going to look at the medication you're taking. Are you taking over the counter? Are you taking something specifically for migraines? Are you taking something more heavy, like some narcotic pain medications? They're going to look at the doctor you go to see. Are you going to a regular family medicine doctor, general practitioner, or internist? Or are you going to a specialist, like a neurologist or a neurosurgeon? They're going to want to know, have you had any tests done? Have you had an MRI done of your brain? Does it show any type of white matter? These things are the things that Social Security is going to look at to determine whether or not those migraines greatly affect your ability. Remember now, when Social Security is utilizing that threshold, I've talked about this on a few other of the videos where I've said there's about the 5-step process that you go through. But let me go ahead and break it down to you just a little bit more for those of you who might not totally get it. It's not enough for you to say that the migraines are so off the chain that you can't function. Because they're trying to determine, can you do work that you used to do, or if you can't do that, can you do anything else? They're also looking they're also looking to see, do you have medical evidence to support that? People, if the migraines are that bad, don't be shy about telling your doctor. Let me say it once again. If the migraines are that bad, do not be shy about telling your doctors. I can't tell you the number of times I've had clients and I've gone to hearings and they've said, "Oh, they're just off the chain and I can't function and I'm throwing up and the lights kill my eyes and so forth." But then when you go into looking at the treating notes for their family doctor or general doctor, they'll say something like, Oh, they complain of headaches. Don't undermine it. Now, don't go off the chain and say it's worse than what it is, but you want to be open and honest about it so that there's a documentation of how severe your condition is. Also, be mindful that, and let me just call it out here for the purposes of the whole healthcare industry. A lot of times, most people, we have what I like to call a gatekeeper system, meaning when you go to your family doctor and your internal medicine doctor, they're trying to see if they can provide you the best treatment, the most cost effective manner possible. So if they can give you medication or some type of in-house type of treatment and so forth, that's the best thing, because once they start referring you to specialists, it becomes expensive. And a lot of times, they're not going to refer you to a specialist unless there's a track record. Meaning, you walk into the door saying you got migraines off the chain is not going to be enough for them to say you should go to a neurologist. If you are going and you're repeatedly telling them, one, it gives them a trail to say, you know what, I've tried everything possible. Maybe it's time for me to send you to a neurologist or a neurosurgeon or a pain management doctor, something like that, or acupuncturist, or a chiropractor, something like that. And that also, that documentation not only supports the doctor, but it also provides a paper trail for Social Security to support your allegations that your condition is that severe. Can you get disability benefits based on migraines? Yes, you can. Is it easy? No, it's not. There are certain conditions out there that are really weird: migraines, asthma, diabetes, high blood pressure. Those are like 4 or 5 conditions out there that really, there are people who have those conditions that still can function with them. Like, I know people who have migraines who work 40, 50 hours a week. So if you're trying to say that you have a migraine that is of such severity that it prevents you from being able to work, you better be prepared to prove it. All right, again, I hope that helps. And to you, Mr. XPU, thank you for asking the question. I hope that cleared that up a bit. If it didn't and you need more insight, by all means, shoot me a message. I'll be more than happy to put up another video. And for those of you who are listening today, if you have any specific questions that you want to ask me, please feel free to ask. I'll be more than happy to post my response right here, and I hope it serves to benefit to you as well. As always, I have plenty of questions that I've answered on my legal blog, so if you want to check that out, that's Legal Beat at legalbeat.anthonyreeves.com. Again, legalbeat.anthonyreeves.com. And as always, this was brought to you by the Reeves Law Firm, www.reevesfirm.com, ReevesFirm.com. And you have a wonderful evening, and I hope this helps out.